too much.
Here we go.
Hi.
Hello and welcome. A big thank you to Jack for joining me today. Thank you
Oh,
to
pleasure,
everyone.
absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, it's lovely. We've been, hoping to do this for a while. Life gets busy and,
Mm,
plans and everything, and
mm.
just the season. Thank you to everyone who is joining. Hey, William. And as always, a big thank you to Team Rewatch, because I know, and we were just chatting before we came on, for some people it's morning, others afternoon, some are evening, and some are into Monday already,
Yeah,
possibly. I'm not
yes,
sure if Australia, New Zealand are into the next day already or a few
yeah,
more
they will
hours.
be. No, I think they will be already because, like, I've got a friend in New Zealand and she's usually
Mm,
about 12 hours or so. So in front of me,
yeah.
it's 3 p.m. here in the UK.
Yeah, it's wild. And I had Mark from Book Ramble on way back when we had that thing called an election. And it was funny because in his world, the results were already out. In my world, we were still waiting because it was the evening. I'm like, tell me who won.
Uh,
It's
time
like, I
travel,
want
isn't
to know who our prime
it?
minister is.
Someone's seen the future.
Yeah. And I mean, in a way, it's very bizarre
Mm.
because, I mean, like I say, I'm sitting here, it's the morning, my day is, kind of starting. Yours is wrapping up. Then you have people, kind of in between at different times. And it really does make you wonder about the concept. Well, it makes me wonder about the concept of time. Like it
Mm.
really is personal,
Yeah, yeah, it really is.
and
Yeah, it's what you're kind of experiencing. It's a strange thing because it's like for me, it's the whole this time of the day would normally just be about like in the summer as well. You don't think of this as the wrapping up of the day,
mm,
whereas right now I do because I know the sun's about going to set in the next hour and a bit here
oh,
because we're on yeah it sort of starts to get dark around 4 p.m. At this time of year here. So between 4 and 5 p.m. it's like so it
yeah,
feels like it is coming up to the end of the day, but in the summer this is not even not even halfway through.
exactly.
So yeah, it's all the light, isn't it? The shifting light. Mm.
Yeah, and I mean here as well. And I'm just going to William's asking which election way back with our prime minister, which is when Mark Carney came in. So that was, I don't know, 2025's been such a blur. It was months ago, let's just put it that way. And
I'm
fingers
just yeah. This
go,
this year feels like 10 years actually, doesn't it? In some
oh,
ways, in politics and in everything else, it feels like
and
it's been a
everywhere, right? Because we've had our nonsense and then our putts from, well, I give them credit. At least they say they're liars in the name, the conservatives. They're cons. And at least they're honest. The liberals,
way
you
of
got
putting
to
it.
add the E in there to get it right. But either way.
Yeah.
But so the liberals, Carney is liberal in charge right now, and the leader of the conservatives, and we're not going to stay too much on politics, but it just
No.
blows my mind that the leader of the other party lost his riding in his own area, a seat that he had for 20 years. 20 years. And his own people said, nerds to you, dude, which
Mm,
meant he should not have been the leader of his party because he had no seat in government.
mm.
So then he goes a few provinces over, gets one of his people to give up their seat that his people voted him in for so he could run in a special election.
How's that possible if he's not the elected official for them? I suppose.
Thank you.
Mm.
Now, for me, that would be a slap in the face because I just voted for you to represent me. And now you're stepping aside So someone who isn't even from my province can run in an election after the people in his own district for 2 decades said nerds and they voted him in.
Politics is crazy at the
I'm
moment, isn't
like,
it?
stupidity is, it's just rampant. But
Mm.
that's enough of politics.
It is enough. The only thing I know, Mark Carney was the former governor of the Bank of England.
Mm-hmm. And I think another bank as well. And that was the big, was he going to win? Because he's technically never been a politician. He's a businessman. But dude's slick and savvy other than welcoming a felon and predator into our country and then sitting in that country and giving him accolades for being wonderful. I'm like, no, I get why people are behaving as they are. It's just, to me, atrocious.
Yeah. I mean, when you were saying about he's not politician, businessman, but you can just, it's like they're both one or the other. These days, they're both, it's like the politician, businessman seems to be like the standard now, doesn't it? So
before they were all lawyers, and some still are.
Yeah, our prime minister was a lawyer. Keir Starmer.
And William saying better a businessman than a former general. Well, I don't know. It depends on who the general is, doesn't it? Yeah, I mean, they all come with their own ideas and viewpoints.
They all come with their own agenda.
Yeah. And I think some of them, well, I mean, I've seen it, and it doesn't just happen in politics, it happens everywhere. People start with the right idea and good intentions. And
yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Right? Hey, Greg. And then reality hits because they either find out that they don't have enough people supporting and on board with what they were hoping to do or accomplish, or it isn't financially or, whatever possible, or over time they just become so jaded that they turn into what they despised in the first place. Like it, I don't think they all turn, I don't think they're all corrupt when they start. I think it just happens sometimes over time, and sometimes power just goes to some people's heads.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there when you said I think people can become either full of themselves a bit or jaded. That's the other thing. I think that because the systems they're working within are, I mean, almost impossible, isn't it? It's this kind of illusion of democracy that we have, I think, in some ways. But it feels like nothing. It doesn't matter which sort of these main parties comes into power, and then if you had any of the more like the Green Party over here, or a more socialist like leader of the Labour Party as we had for a few years, who was just completely ripped apart by the press and made out to be. So it's like the whole thing, like you say, I don't believe people go into public service on the whole with bad intentions, but as you say, I think the systems and the everything else either corrupts or jades them. I think that's what, sadly, where we are with it all. But it's usually the people who want power that shouldn't have it as well. That's the other thing. That old adage, isn't it?
That's it, right? And I think because it's so complex. I mean, to us, or I mean, to me, I know nothing about politics, whatever, but there are so many layers and levels, and it's so complex, and there's so many, different things that you have to do. Like I say, I couldn't stand there and smile and welcome that thing into my house, let alone throw a dinner for it. And yet somehow all these people do, partly because the bigger, well, what if he loses his, well, okay, he's losing his marbles, but more than normal. And then because there's always that ripple effect, right? And even when it comes to things like People have certain opinions about Amazon. I have my opinions about Facebook and this and that. But all of it has a ripple effect. So, for example, with Amazon, I've said, Bezos is never going to be my hero. Do I know that there's problems with it? Yes. However, here in Canada, I only have so many options. I get free shipping, which fits my budget nicely because I'm not working anymore. So I live on a teeny income. I mean, I'm blessed to have a second income in the house, but still. And in order for me to get indie authors, which I loved you showing Gareth's book, I'm so glad he gave you a copy. Brown Yelp was such a fun read.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it. But for me, that's how I can get indie author books and support the BookTube authors that I've met. So I can order that through Amazon. So I'm supporting author friends. The books are printed here in Canada. So that means employment here in Ontario, the province where I live. There's employment for the people who are delivering the books. Like there's that ripple effect,
There
right?
is.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say I have a friend who works for Amazon in one of the warehouses here, and he's been so reliant on that, and I don't think the conditions are the best, but he was really grateful to get the job when he got it, and and whilst I can't agree with the conditions of it, but I know the effects of having that work and being able to sign up for extra work and do all the things that he does. I think it works for him, and it helped get him out of a believe it or not, a worse situation. So yeah, so I think also over here in the UK we have stricter workers' rights than in some countries. So even though Amazon are atrocious in terms of the sort of work record, we've got stricter employment laws here. For that kind of thing. So I don't know. I think the same as you though, because I live in the middle of nowhere, and there's certain things if I want them, like there's certain things I have to, Amazon sometimes the only thing that will deliver it. So because we live in we're very rural. I've just got cows out there, tiny little village, got one shop which is the petrol station. And it's the only shop for about about 6 to 8 miles. That is probably the only shop, So and it to go to an actual big shop, it's a good 20-minute drive away. So it's like and I know a lot of people who rely on. I remember mentioning about Amazon because I was thinking about it a few years ago about how much I used them. When I lived in London, it was very unnecessary. I had everything on my doorstep. So I was a bit more like, well, I could just not use Amazon if I had to, right?
Yep.
And I remember mentioning it when I was looking at alternatives to Audible, because I am trying to move away from, I have moved away from Audible in terms of my audiobook listening. And I did a video on it. And one of my lovely subscribers said, oh, just so like in terms of Amazon themselves as a company, she being like disabled, she said they're kind of a lifesaver for me. And I was like, because you kind of, yes, they are horrific in terms of a lot of the practices, but for some people, like that's a lifeline for them. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, I suppose you've got to weigh it up and consider a lot of sides, haven't you?
We'll see, like with Facebook as well, right? I'm not a fan. I would never have had an account because when I worked in the schools, I would hated it. The number of times I had to deal with students and those damn cell phones and their moods and spiraling. I mean, they were already learning challenged. I refuse to use the D word. That just disgusts me that in this day and age. And I would say to my students, you are not disabled. Our education system is disabled and messed up. You, however, are not. You have learning challenges. You have learning issues. Don't ever use the D word with me again.
Interesting. Yeah, learning needs. Yeah.
Well, and that's it, right? Because as soon as, and I mean, I worked in elementary and high schools. And I saw what that label did to kids in elementary.
Mm.
And they would latch onto it because they would keep hearing it. And
We
it
don't
would
have
just
that as a term over
touch
here.
them.
We don't use that over here. I've never heard,
No, I'm
like, we
glad.
get in schools. No, we don't.
I
No,
wish
we
we
talk
didn't.
about yeah, we talk about specific learning difficulties.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what it is. And it just and I live in a city, comically enough, London, but an ocean away from yours. So it's a big city. And I mean, thankfully, in terms of Amazon, and yes, I could go out, but I don't drive anymore. And my husband's out and about through the day. But like I say, for me, it's mostly books that I get that I couldn't just find at my thrift store or library, etc. But in terms of Facebook, yeah, I mean, it would be a nightmare trying to calm students down because someone posts, and I'm like, I don't care. Facebook is not life, and you're in an English class. Put the phone away. Or math class or welding or whatever class I was in. I'm like, this does not matter right now.
I mean, Facebook. I read that book, the Meta expose by one of their former CEO. Which was CEO? She was their. Oh, what was she? She wasn't CEO. That's Mark Zuckerberg, isn't it? She was their one of their communications officers or something. Anyway, she was high up. She was at like the C level, like chief something or other.
Yeah.
And she did an expose memoir that came out this year about Meta. And I read it, and a lot of the stuff that's in it is in public, like it's public information, like it's documented that she's put in there. Some stuff she's put in there that wasn't documented, but she's now done a congressional hearing where she's given testimony about some of the things that were in there. And it just is the most despicable company. Like they are, and they're not the only one, but
no.
This memoir was really kind of hard hitting. And she talked about there's just what they were doing, growth at the expense of everything, at the expense of absolutely everything, at the expense of global politics, at the expense of mental health, at the expense of, like, they've got a feature that could tell if a teenager had uploaded and then not posted or deleted a selfie, because they do that when they're not happy.
Yeah.
Then trigger adverts for beauty products or weight loss products as soon as the thing registered that you've taken that down. I mean, that's just absolutely despicable. Like, it's the whole thing. And they've also done experiments where they wanted to experiment to see if they could change people's moods, and they can, like, quite easily change people's moods by feeding them a diet of certain things intentionally, and they were doing that to change people's opinions for politics as well. So they Brexit is Facebook's fault as far as I'm concerned. Like, it really is. And I mean,
none of that surprises me. And my last few years, I was in a resource room working with assistive tech, and so students could come in. They either had their own laptops or computer systems or just needed some additional support. And so we were using Kurzweil, which was the big program then, because it could read text for the students and they could answer on the computer as well. It was amazing. And I mean, now Google and so many other free options are out there. But I also had a ton of physical books because, I like doing that and highlighting, and I had nature pictures. It was like a whole fancy room. But I also had up a People magazine of Phoebe, and she had been cyberbullied. She was a 17-year-old, beautiful, beautiful girl whose family had immigrated from Ireland to the US. I think it was California. I haven't read her story in a bit, but I still have the article. And she was picked on and tormented and literally is no more. Her younger sister found her after school one day. And the four, it might have been six people. So it had about them and everything else. All of it had happened on Facebook and, of course, in the school. But, most of these shite people tend to do things behind a screen versus to your
When
face.
they can't see your face, exactly. Yes, it makes them anonymous, doesn't it?
Exactly. And so I didn't have Facebook at the time, and I would explain to my students, I will never have it. Like, just no. And then our school got slated to close. So the only way to keep in touch with people as we got dispersed throughout different schools and everything. So I was on Facebook for a while. And one, it freaked me out because you would go shopping. And if I don't think it matters if you use your debit card or credit card, log on to Facebook, and what do you just see an ad for? Or I would be Googling different books, whether I was interested, what were they about, what came up on my Facebook page, the book I just looked at. I'm like,
I think it is the frightening thing of it all is the mining us for data. And my partner and I have been having a lot of discussions about it recently because he's been getting more and more concerned about it as someone. He's been the sort of person, he was an early adopter of the internet. So he was someone who very, very early days was really into it. And so he's, and he's started recently sort of saying, this whole idea of, first of all, tech feudalism, this idea that the big companies that own the majority of servers where the internet, where things are, the things are running through, like the Amazon outage recently kind of highlighted how much they have control over them, like massive parts of the internet. And this idea that, and all of the mining us for data, like, the whole old adage is true that if it says it's free, then you're the product. Like, they're mining you for your data, and they know us inside out. And then now with the whole large language learning, what LLMs, whatever they're called, the AI machine, AI, like ChatGPT and stuff, all of these things that have been trained on our data and now are starting to, the dangerous part of it, replacing people's jobs. And I mean, kind of living in a dystopian future, it feels like. That's what it just feels like. But he was talking to me about, what can we do to, there are web browsers which are paid for. They're not a huge amount of money, but if you really didn't want your data, kind of going somewhere, they're supposed to be private. So private what they call browsers, basically. And they're saying it sounds weird because search engines have been free for so long, but they're not free because they're mining us for every single bit of information that we put into it. So it's not free. It's frightening, and it never used to bother me such. And then when I read that Meta book, I suddenly was like, no, that's it. I'm getting rid of it. I had an old Facebook account for years, since 2007, which I hadn't been on for about 8 years or so, but it was just sitting there waiting to be hacked, probably. So I thought, I'm going to get rid of that. And then I had a Facebook account that I had to set up. When I set up Spread Book Joy, I wanted a business account on Instagram. And to get a business account on Instagram, you needed a Facebook account to set up a business account. So I had to set up another account. And then the other thing is, then people can find you. People start finding you because it starts suggesting people to you, and then people find you. And if you're friends with one person, then it starts suggesting you to all these other people. Who are like, I don't want these people to be in contact with me. If I did, I'd still be in contact with them. So it used to drive me mad. So I deleted everything this year, aside from my Spread Book Joy Instagram, which has been dormant for about 2 or 3 years. I don't use it, apart from, the reason I leave it up is because I want people to find the books. It was recommendations for children.
Nice.
Books. So it's got loads of posts and recommendations for children's books for teachers and for parents. So I just leave that up because I'm like, right, well, that can just stay there. There's no personal information on there about me. Well, there was, but I've taken it down.
Resource, so why recreate the wheel,
And this is the thing, it's like this whole starts off being they talk about it being a social network. But I was listening to I did a reread because this has all been bothering me so much. I've just finished rereading Digital Minimalism. Have you ever read that book?
No, I need to write that
it's
down.
by Cal Newport, and he's a professor at one of the big American universities. I can't remember which one. And he released this book in 2019, and I read it in 2019, and I've reread it, and it just seems even more relevant now because he wrote it and released it in before AI came out. And now, like I've reread it, and I just finished it a few weeks ago, and I'm trying to put really good boundaries in place for my use of because it's the attention economy, basically, isn't it? They're all trying to get our attention, because the more time your eyes spend on screen, the more money they get. And so it's the same with all of it, with YouTube, so I'm trying to use YouTube in a kind of a much more, what's the word I'm looking for, discerning way, I suppose. So I set parameters around it. So like I try not to, I've got the app on my phone, but I try not, I don't have notifications on, for example, on my phone. I don't do that. I'll go and do comments and answer comments at set times of the week. So I'll go on my laptop and do that, do it at set times rather than just constantly answering comments. Because as soon as I go into YouTube, I'm just down a rabbit hole.
Well, that's it, right?
I am
I need to watch this, or someone uploaded, or someone commented.
And it's not even just booktube, it's just like following these like trails. You could just be on, you lose the amount of screen time is just sucking your life into this screen. And so digital minimalism is really good because there's, some parts of it you can take with, like, you just use it to adapt to your life. But he talks about the Facebook, when they first started, that they were about socially connecting people. And so someone might said, oh, wouldn't it be good if, like, you might consider, like, people would wonder why it is that you can't see where your friends are. If they're local to you, maybe you could go and meet them. And I'm like, no, because Facebook doesn't want that. Facebook doesn't want you meeting people in real life, because then you're not on your screen. So they could do that, but they don't. And they could do these things, but they don't. And I was like, oh yeah, of course, because they talk about being socially connected, but probably more socially disconnected than we ever were in reality.
Well, the funny thing is with that, there were a group of us who had gotten together. This was several years ago. And I also years ago deleted my Facebook. I got it, kept in touch. I'm like, no, if you want to, like, phone me, whatever, we're not doing Facebook. And I know nothing's ever deleted, but I deleted the account for whatever that means in this day and age. But a group of us had gotten together. We were at, nice restaurant having a lovely dinner. There were, I think, 7 of us. 5 of them had their phones in front of their face. 2 of us were laughing, going, do you get the irony? We're sitting right here, people. What in the hay is so important on your phone?
It's addictive, and it's designed to be, isn't it? It's
people walking their dogs with it. I'm like, well, okay, I think dogs are smarter than humans anyway. But be that as it may, I'm like, what? And they do it with their kids too.
Yeah. And they do. I see people on the bus, like when I've been out on public transport, and the baby's in the pram and they're sat on their phone while the baby's just sat there. And I'm like, please interact with your baby. Like, it's just insane to me. Like, just your baby's kind of there. Just interact with your child. Like, they need to, like, be talked to and see if, like, I'm sure they don't do it all the time. They're probably just doing it, but it's just to me, it's very sinister. And you turn around and you look, and every single person's just staring at their phone, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's like, it's very like very dystopian, like this whole idea. My partner was talking to me about the fact that, you remember in The Matrix, which one of my favorite films ever.
I haven't seen Matrix.
Oh my gosh, one of the best films ever. I don't want to spoil it for you. But if you're ever going to watch it, but there's a point when this idea that human beings become this power source for this future where AI is taken over, where robots and a thing have taken over. Basically, humans are now just become this physical power source, like, because we generate electricity for these machines. And my partner was like, Well, it is like that, isn't it? Except they're not draining power. They're just draining us of our time and our attention and our focus and our information. So we are literally feeding this thing, which is just getting beyond like anything we ever thought it would be. And I was like, yeah, oh my gosh, these things are all fairly prescient, I think. So
Yeah,
I was funny. Gavin's here. I've just seen Gavin. We were having a chat about various things to do with this when I met him in Bath a few weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We were chatting about what were we chatting about? We're going to try and do a live stream and chat about it, but we were talking about physical media versus streaming services for the same kind of things as well.
Nice.
I've got to be in my bonnet about that too.
Well, and that would be fascinating. I'm just going to catch up with a few comments because these tie in. So hello, Katie. And she's agreeing with William. They were talking about it along with the Facebook. Very personable in its infancy. Now it's very commercial and unuseful, primarily a platform for narcissists. And there certainly are some, sadly, saying hello to Gavin. And nobody wants to dig up my old Facebook. I'm betting probably not. It wasn't all that interesting. Well, same as my channel, I'd share my cats and silly things or jokes, whatever there. But the funny thing about that comment, William, is years ago when I worked in social services, our court system was very different. And now watching court cases with like Johnny Depp and other things, hey, guess what? Nothing from your phone disappears. That's why they have computer screens now and your emails and stuff from 10 years ago. It's not just Facebook, any text, whatever. They've got a way to pull it up in the courts. Now, I agree. Unless I go bonkers, there'd be no reason to look at my old Facebook. No one cares. But it still makes the point of it's still there. Like you can delete it. They can say they deleted it. But nothing is ever deleted. Not your email, not your text, whatever. And then, like I said, so with Phoebe, I was just so against it. And the points you make in the book as well, Jack, are very important. But then you get to the other side of it, of families are now spread across the globe. It's free. It's a way they can get in touch.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. This is why people stay. Pictures. Yeah, it's the pull of that. But what I was thinking about, like, reading that digital minimalism, and I was thinking of getting rid of WhatsApp recently as well for similar reasons. And I thought, well, I'm so far away from everybody, I should get rid of WhatsApp. And then I thought, I'm so far away. It's nice to be in family group chats, and especially because we've got a lot going on with them. But then I thought, if you didn't have it, they'd have to ring you, and then you'd have to speak to people, because actually, how often do I have a conversation which is high value communication versus voice notes or text messages, which is constant? And that is high value communication. That is just, you're not having a two-way thing. You're not hearing that person's voice in real time. You're not having a two-way conversation. You're like, so I thought, well, actually, so if I did delete it, it's just kind of going to force people to actually either meet me in person when I come into London, or phone me, or do a video call with me. And actually, they're far more rewarding and value communication forms than WhatsApping me. Like, I can't stand WhatsApp anymore, because that's owned by Meta as well now.
We'll see. Yeah, and there's that. There was someone who, it was an interesting offer, subject I was interested in, but they don't do email often, which is funny. I mean, we went from snail mail to email. Everyone was on email.
Yes, everyone was on email. That was our main way of communicating when I was in my 20s with my friends. Like, we'd email each other. It sounds really weird now, because you just don't anymore, right?
Yeah, so many people don't keep up with or stay on top of email. So now it's all either Voxer, FaceTime, WhatsApp, this, that, or Divinity only knows how many different things there are.
Mm.
But so in order to be part of this group and contribute, you had to have WhatsApp, which I don't. I only have Voxer.
Don't get it. Just don't get it.
Well,
I like
and
Voxer. What I like about Voxer is it's actually fairly private in a sense, because people need your username to find you. When you're
yeah,
on WhatsApp, every single person in your contacts, I mean, every single person will know you're on WhatsApp, and they can contact you via it, even though you've not consented to that. And that's what I dislike about it, because I've got I run a tutoring business, so I've also got like clients and stuff as well. So it's kind of become this merged thing where I've got loads of people contacting me via WhatsApp.
yeah.
And because I have so many groups in WhatsApp that go off quite a lot, I've had notifications turned off. So I don't see it. It's sort of become almost like a social media feed. So I'll check WhatsApp sporadically during the day. I don't go on it all the time. If I go on WhatsApp, sometimes there's been so many messages, it's like scrolling social media. That's why I'm getting fed up of it. I'm just like, is this necessary in my life? You know, is the fact that I feel like many people, like you just said, who are around the world, away from family, think that's a good way of keeping in touch. And yes, it can be, but I also don't want to keep in touch with 1 billion people every day. You know, it's like just a few select groups, maybe.
Well, and that's it, because you have to prioritize the time and WhatsApp. And so I've missed out because I'm not getting WhatsApp, mainly because you had to give your phone number. And I'm like, I trust this individual. I don't have an issue with them having my number. It's where it goes after that. It's the same as
on WhatsApp, people can add you to loads of groups. You can get added to people you didn't even consent to being contacted by. This is what annoys me about it. Oh.
Well, see, and even with Voxer, and I mean, because you can see who's friends with friends, but I don't typically, like, I knew you were friends with Gareth for ages, but I thought, well, I haven't asked you, and I don't want to just, hey, I found you on Gareth, because no, I'm just weird like that, right? So I figure if there's another way to communicate first, or do you mind if, or I'll ask someone to, hey, can you check with, are they okay with this? Because that's the one thing. Hey, Noah, but it just, like you say, it can be so overwhelming. And so, yeah, I've missed out on this. And it's actually funny because for the longest time, I had no idea what FOMO meant until I'd seen Kevin Toll's discussion. And I can't remember the rest of the set. Oh, something about how do you booktube, or is it not? Are there too many? It was one of his ones before.
It was it the one about the booktube effect?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
that was it. And I'm like, oh, okay, now I know what it means, because I've seen it around. And I was like, and because you have the book group, and I'm like,
yeah, the FOMO book club.
Oh, I've got too many things. I can't figure out what this FOMO is. Then I was looking at Kevin's going, oi. But it was funny. And I was actually, and I may still do a video about it. One of my commenters shared and I think, yeah, it's right here. And they mentioned phobia, a fear of being included, which I thought was
I like that, because we used to have JOMO, isn't it? Joy of missing out. The other one. The joy of missing out.
I write JOMO. Joy of missing out.
Joy of missing out.
Because, and I mean, it's funny because I remember back to, I think it was one of your first videos I watched, and you were talking about, having to downsize and prioritize because there were so many events and so many books. And I remember giggling to myself going, how is that possible? And then like a year and a bit later, I'm like, I can't keep up with BookTube. I've got these books, what events, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
I mean,
because the more
how many
people
years are you on now? How many years are you on
this
BookTube now?
is my 4th year of YouTube,
Mm,
but just going into year 2 of finding this lovely BookTube community.
mm,
Because when I was first on, I was still doing books and such, but far more into following paranormal channels and
mm.
such.
Yeah.
And I really hadn't met many booktubers, and the odd ones that I had come across just weren't as inclusive. I mean, they were lovely individuals, I'm sure, but they weren't,
Mm,
it just wasn't the same as this group that I found in the 2 years of, being inclusive and supportive, and you can reach out and ask questions. They were just basically on screen to talk about their books, get their comments, and some never even responded to
mm.
commenters, which just kind of blew me away. There was one, and they were an author who used comments to write books. I'm like, well, I'm not commenting for you anymore. Like, you can't
Yeah.
even hit a heart button. WTF,
Yeah.
honey?
Yeah, you don't need to do
That's
much, do
just
you, to
rude.
acknowledge it? Yeah.
It's just
But
wild.
it's kind of
But
so you kind of had an end of your second year, or kind of coming into your third year, I suppose. You must
yeah,
be. Yeah,
yeah,
because you're hitting that it's kind of like this weird trajectory of like you find BookTube. It's kind of because I'm in my in my 6th year now, because I've just
nice.
celebrated. Well, I've celebrated 5. I've had 5 years, so this is my 6th year that I'm in. And people who are kind of my cohort, because you kind of have a cohort, don't you? You kind of join the same time as you, and they're either still going, or they've kind of, lots of people have been taking big extended breaks, and then
Mm,
lots of people kind of, you kind of get a bit of burnout. You kind of get this joining in, you find these amazing friends, you just want to do everything, and
yeah,
you love it. It's so fun, and you meet so many great people, and you do
yep,
so many things. And then it gets to, then you quickly then tip over into, oh hang on, I've got too many things, I can't pick up you just can't just pick up a book for the sake of it. You've got so many things to do.
yeah,
So yeah, and then you kind of come out the other side of that with either a good balance, or what I've seen, complete like no to events and just putting out content. They just put out their own content, read what they
yeah,
want. They might promote other events, or they might join them in if they're doing something anyway, kind of like me. I do that. But this is kind of this pushback, because otherwise you just wouldn't survive it, because
exactly.
it becomes this big overwhelm. So I think you're hitting that top of the
Yeah.
roller coaster bit, coming out the other side. Yeah.
And it happens a few times, and I agree. It kind of it does go like that. I'm just going to catch up with a
Go for
few.
it.
So, Gavin was saying, so this was when you were talking about your live. You're going to put the
We
world to
are.
rights. So
Yes, we
I'll
are.
need to watch that.
We're going to be talking furiously about streaming services.
Well, and we'll
And
talk about that, because
ownership.
I have one. I refuse to be, well, I'm not sure how you would put it in Britain, but I refuse to be nickeled and dimed getting tons. No, I only have Prime. I know that may not be popular with some people, but I have that. It gives me free shipping. I am not
Yeah.
getting any other streaming services.
Yeah.
I have
It's because
other
it's
things.
all of those subscription services, so many of them. But it's also subscription services. I've got to let Pedro in, actually. I'm going to let the cat in
Okay,
while
yep,
you
go ahead.
do comments.
And I'm just going to read through some. So, William, I asked the AI chatbot if it would be a threat to my well being, gave an evasive and vague answer. Yeah, that can't be good, William. I don't have one of
Yeah.
those things. My former boss, insulted me in my WhatsApp chat group, which is rude.
Say hello to Pedro.
Hey,
Hello.
Pedro.
There's
Oh,
Elaine. Hey.
so
Oh,
handsome.
he's having some teeth out tomorrow.
Oh,
I know, he's getting
sweetheart.
on a bit. It's his birthday this week, coming up. He's
Happy
going to be 15.
birthday.
Yeah, yeah, he's going to be 15.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. He's getting on a bit, like all of us.
Yeah. Tell me about it. I'll be 62 next month. Ah,
Oh,
yeah. I was supposed to be gone by 40. It's so screwed up my financial planning, but here I am.
But I'm glad you are.
Most days I am. Some days it's like, nerd. Tiki, he's here on, well, I've changed. Oh, let's see. I think we can get her. Yep, we can. I've rearranged. My big cubes are gone.
Ah,
There's
hello.
the little monkey. She's watching cat TV. She was guarding the bedroom door because Dad's having a nap, and she's like, "Don't come in and bug him, Mom." And literally sat right at the door, like, "Don't even." And then I had to go in and get my Christmassy, and she's like, "Oh, how dare you step over me?" Better not wake him up. But now she's watching the snow and the birdies out the window, so she's happy. So yeah, William saying his former boss insulted him in the WhatsApp chat group. It just, and I mean the thing too, this whole friends on Facebook, I'm like, you don't even know who these people are. Like, to me, a friend is someone you talk to, you know what's kind of happening. You may not chat every day. You may not even chat, like, all year, whatever, but you've got a history, you know them. And for me, that really stands out because a friend of mine years ago decided to try this dating stuff online. And he's like, I've met more men than I ever wanted to, but they were saying they were female. And he's like, I've put right in my thing. And he didn't have an issue as far as, you do you. But he was quite clear he was looking for a female partner. And he's like, now I want to talk to them. And if they won't talk to me, then I just move on. Because I'm like, see, those are the individuals, the ones pretending to be women, who give other people a bad name.
It's catfishing, isn't it? That's what they call it. You catfish someone. Catfishing is when they think you're one person and it turns out you're pretending to be someone you're not, isn't it?
And this is why when I was on Facebook, I'm like, no, I will add people I know. I kept I had under 100, and I knew every single one of them.
That's
I
that's a good number.
Seen them.
It's a good number. No, because that was another thing in the Cal Newport book. He says that actually the kind of, I can't remember what research it is on it shows, but anything over 150 in entirety of people that you're acquainted with and friends with is like unmanageable and pointless. It's like they're not, like, it's not manageable.
Like, it's the same. And I mean, you made an excellent point. I've been mindful of it even before I heard you talk about it in your video with the number of channels you're subscribed to. And I mean, there are so many, and I'm actually going to do a response to Kevin's video about are there too many, because I looked up the hashtag for the number of booktube channels, book tag videos, book TBRs. And I mean, again, those numbers are only as accurate as the people who use the hashtags, which means there's far more. And it's not, well, okay, spoiler alert, but my point will be, I still think if you want to do it, then do it, because you're unique. It doesn't matter what the numbers are, but if you're going to get caught up in the numbers, don't do it, because YouTube will suck your soul in a couple of months. Like, if you're in it for the numbers, you're already doomed. And if you're in it for money, you're screwed. Go get a job.
Yes.
Because
I completely agree.
Well, because
you're right, because you're going to do a cull, Elaine. Are you going to do a cull of your subscription fee? Because I did that the other night. It's quite fun, actually.
I do it regularly. And
I
it's why
don't do it
I don't
regularly.
take
I wish I did.
unsubscribers personally, because there's only so much time. I want viewers, people who are coming back who enjoy the content, and not all of my content. I used to do cats regularly,
Mm.
and I will now do those sporadically because, yeah, I can do this. It's a month today. Once Zena started getting sick, I couldn't do it because I was so
Yeah.
worried.
Yeah.
What happened, right? And then I'm like, nope, can't do it. So it's crazy to think it's already been a month. But so I knew people were coming for the cat videos. It's actually my most popular playlist, which is awesome. They're there, and it's not like Panther and Tiki have stopped being maniacs. So there's odd little clips, and I throw them in my community posts when I do my stuff. But so those won't be right. But I have my nature content, which is like walking through my yard or weather, different things. And then I have the books. So I know people come for different reasons, and I'm good with that. That's why, and it's funny because I've stopped saying subscribe. I haven't done it in almost a year, and it's made zero difference.
I agree. I think you're right. Yes, it would make zero difference. People are going to subscribe if they want to subscribe, whether you tell them to or not. Like, it's very few people who are on YouTube who don't understand that if they want to see you again, they should subscribe. So I say it's become a real habit. Like, maybe stick around, maybe subscribe, because it's kind of become a sign off. However, it is kind of just a sign off because I don't think it has any effect. And subscribers don't matter if they don't watch your channel. I can attest to this because in the past year, I have been my least prolific in terms of posting, and I've had the most growth in terms of subscribers in the past year. And it's all down to a couple of one video actually, which was in March, and that doubled my subscriber count.
Wow.
I had less than 2,000 subscribers this time last year. And so now I have 4,100.
Yeah.
And I can tell you now, my viewers are the same. The people who always watch and always comment are the same people as they were a year ago, pretty much. Actually, I do have some new regulars, actually. That's not completely strictly true. But it is my usual loyal watchers and subscribers who are the ones who are still the ones watching and commenting on my channel. So what I find is you can have something that kind of blows you up a little bit, and yet it's not going to keep people returning necessarily, especially if it was a very specific thing that you were kind of attracted everybody to you. And mine was about reading, I suppose, the overwhelm of reading and the overwhelm of all the bookish content and stuff. I suppose was about that, and I'm interested in that, and I will do more videos on it. But that's not all I do. But not everyone watches for that. For the other stuff that I do. So, like you said, people will come and watch you for certain things. And yeah, its subscriber count is not meaningless because I think I'm appreciative of everyone who subscribes to me.
Exactly.
But it's not a measure of like
success.
Yes, it's when you get interactions and everything else. And I also got a bit frightened when my subscriber count jumped so suddenly. It actually was quite frightening. I was just like, what's going on? It took me 4 years to get the subscribers I got, and then like half again in a quarter of the time. So yeah, it was
that was lovely because when I was watching your video last night with your shopping, and I'm like, wow, yeah, 4,000. So because I don't always look at my subs or anyone else's. I'm watching the video.
I'm the same.
Right?
Yeah, I've stopped.
And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I don't take it. Yeah, I don't pay attention to it at all that much. And I just think to myself, like every now and again, you'll notice someone suddenly like you're like, oh my god, how did they get suddenly? Because like I remember watching Katie from Books and Things. I said to her the other week when I saw her, I was like, I only recently just noticed your subscriber count is just gone. like that. It's gone huge. And I said, how does that? She said, I just can't cope with the comments, like in terms of managing comments and stuff anymore. It's too much.
Yeah.
Like you just get beyond being able to do it. And she does respond to comments, but she can't respond to every comment. And like you can understand that, can't you? It's like, so to me, it's like it's not that it loses, but it kind of, what's beautiful about like our size of channel is you can keep up and you can interact and you can respond to every comment. I'm a bit slow when it comes to responding to every comment because, like I said, I'm trying not to be chronically online. So I have time I carve out once a week. I'm going to go on once a week and manage some comments, and if I run out of time before the comments have run out, then those ones will get pushed to the following week. That's what I do, because I'm trying to manage my,
but you have to prioritize, and I think that's the important thing, is that everyone has to find what works for them. I mean, I'm uber small enough that I can do it in the morning. So that's what I do with my morning coffee if I have comments. And I say if, because usually if I don't have an upload, then I don't have comments until the next upload. And I'm okay with that, because it means then I don't have to panic about being on the computer trying to keep up with that. It means I can dedicate my day to something else. And I love those interactions. It's the one thing that I still need to figure out how to get more of from the videos. And I mean, I've watched other people's videos, but I see some people are the same as me. They've got great content, interesting viewpoints, asking questions, no comments. So, I mean, it's the same as, how does one channel blow up and another one doesn't? But they're both good channels, right?
It's unpredictable and unfathomable. And people who say do these things and your channel will succeed is nonsense. Because when I started, all the advice was post at the same time on the same day every week. I did that. I had a schedule. I had an upload schedule. I had all of that. And the only thing that keeps people is you post regularly, but you don't have to post on the same day, the same time every week, because that's if the last year has proved anything to me, that because I have been so erratic with my posting, and it's more about having even if you posted one video a month, it's not about the time of day or when you post it. It's just like, okay, I post a video once a month. But YouTube knows you do that once a month, and you kind of have this really steady flow of content. And when you build up a big body of content, then it kind of knows who to farm you out to. And this is why it's important that people who subscribe to you watch you. And this is why I've said, don't subscribe to people and don't watch them, because YouTube algorithm knows the type of watcher that watches your video, and then will try and find similar watchers, similar people with, and that's the only thing I do know about the algorithm. But other than the fact that that's all I know about it, everything else is really unfathomable to me. So when people think you can play the algorithm and do this and do that, and like you said, if they're chasing numbers, they're going to be unhappy. Don't do books if you're chasing numbers. Don't talk about books if you're chasing numbers, because if you're chasing numbers or you want a career, like books, it's not the thing. Like this is, and like you said, there's a load of booktube channels, but we're still still a niche area of YouTube. Like, believe it or not, I think we are. So it's unfathomable. It really is. Just do you do you is what I've learned on this.
Well,
these past 5 years.
And one that helps avoid burnout. But I've also just recently heard that what they do is, when your videos go up, it goes out to your subscribers first. Depending on how many of those subscribers watch, they decide to farm it out. So you may have just because I suck at math, we'll keep it easy. Say you have 300 subscribers and 10 people watch. It may be your best video ever, but it's going nowhere.
It usually is, isn't it? It's usually you put in all the work and you love it and no one watches it. And then you just throw something together off the cuff. And suddenly everyone's watching it, and you're like, oh, it's just completely unfathomable. Really.
That's why I laughed at your start
Yeah.
yesterday about, can I do this without editing? I'm like, one day I might be able to, but wouldn't that be nice?
I managed one. I'm going to keep trying to do those though, because that I was like, you know what, it fights against my perfectionist tendencies, but I'm gonna attempt to do some unedited videos as much as possible. I've managed one so far, one where it's kind of like minimal editing. And when I say minimal, it's because there was a funny outtake, so I put it at the start.
There you go.
Where I dropped the books. But yes, but keeping yourself like because for my 5th anniversary video, I did why I'm still here. Why I'm still on BookTube, because so many people have been quitting or taking extended breaks. And I did this kind of like list of like things that I don't do and things that you don't need to do to be on BookTube. And I just did this whole rant about, it wasn't a rant, it was kind of like, you don't need this, you don't need that. I've done some of these things. This is why I'm telling you, and I don't need them, and you can still be happy. But like, you don't need a regular upload schedule. You need to do what works for you. You talk about the things that you're interested in and be passionate and be real, right?
Exactly.
Because the worst thing you can do is to do things because you think that's going to be popular.
Yeah.
Or to get sucked into things. Sometimes you don't do it because you think it's going to be popular, but sometimes you watch so much BookTube that you think you should be reading certain books, and you're like, oh, maybe I should be reading these books. And like, I've had that's happened to me, where I've been like, oh, I'm getting sucked into all this Booker prize list stuff. And then really what I should think is, now I'm like, no, everyone else can read them. And then when the best ones emerge from people that I know have the same taste as me, maybe I'll read it. But
yeah, exactly.
You know, but don't chase numbers. Don't, you know, like, you'll be, that way lies misery, doesn't it, really? It's just.
Well, the other thing I found in terms of the subscriber point and, you know, getting videos out and that as well, but YouTube also deletes you from channels, which
yes, it does.
Off. And if you're subscribed to 200+ channels, guess what? Well, granted, you're not watching them anywho, but you have no idea that is happening. And I made a comment somewhere about a channel being deleted, and it really irks me because I've been trying to really follow like these smaller 500 under channels, you know, to support, check out content and that. And the problem is, because I'm also one of those teeny ones, if YouTube unsubscribes you, sometimes you can't find the channel again. I've lost different craft channels. I've lost different booktubers because they're so teeny. Even if you've got the name, you can't find them again.
Do you think it's because they've deleted their channel though?
No.
Oh,
no, it's just because some of us are teeny and our names don't automatically come up. Or I do know that the hashtags are case sensitive because someone, and bless their heart, we're connected on Voxer, and they're like, hey, I mentioned you in a video. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And when I went back, they had a capital D instead of a lowercase. So YouTube didn't notify me. I wouldn't have known if they hadn't reached out to me. And this is why I don't think of it as social media. There are so many misunderstandings that can happen. And even in comments, sometimes what you say isn't how it comes across, or it may not be how you meant it, but then it's how it's like, it's this is good because it's like a phone call, right? It's interactive. You get that response, or you can communicate with people who are in the chat. But yeah, it can be like a whole boondoggly type of thing. I'm just going to catch up on a few. So thank you, Noah, one of my little chaos gremlins. Don't forget to hit the like and hydrate, saying hello. Glad I'm on TikTok. Oh, not on TikTok and Instagram. YouTube's easy enough. Yeah, I don't have TikTok. I keep joking with everyone, you kids in your TikTok, because I
saw you do that on the Dave's
oh, yeah, Dave and Gareth.
I thought it was really funny. I don't know Margaret quite got when you were joking about it. You and your kids with your TikToks. I got it.
Yeah.
I also tease all the kids at school by calling them TikToks.
Oh,
These TikToks that you're doing, and the kids go, "It's not TikToks." It's like, yeah, I know.
oh, I'm always razzing Margaret about TikTok, and she's into this K-pop demons and this, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, you kids. And then it makes me laugh because I'm thinking, oh Lord, I remember when people who were older than me used to say that, and it would just tick me off. Now I'm laughing because I know they're all like either in their late 30s, early 40s, or some in their 50s. And I just think it's hilarious calling them kids.
It's funny. Oh, I think it's great.
you gotta laugh. But yeah, I can't keep up with all this. And I'll catch up, and then there's something I did want to say with Bob and I. So I don't mind missing out. I'm the same. I'm getting really comfortable with that. Don't do it all. Being selective makes a richer experience. Agreed. Keeps me in the moment. Because then you're chasing the newest book or this or that. And then I reduced my Goodreads because I did have a goal set. The last 3 years I did good. I had 100 books a year, and I was happy with that. But then I'm also at home all day. You know, my hubby's out working, I'm on my own, my friends are working through the day and such. So, I mean, I need to do something with my day. So, of course, I'm going to read a lot of books. I certainly never did that when I was working. I mean, that was summer layoff when the schools were out, or when I worked in group homes, vacation. But I certainly couldn't have done that with a full-time job and, having this thing called a life and other things. And so this year, though, I put it down to 25, my top goal, and I didn't change it because what I would find, because I'm too competitive, is December was brutal. And it's a hard enough month, emotionally, cloudy weather, everything. But I would be so obsessed with I had to hit that 100 books that I was picking books to finish to get to 100. So I wasn't even enjoying the reads. I'm like, this is nuts.
But also, don't you love I don't know if are you a big book fan? You're a big fat book fan, like you.
Some of them. It depends on the topic.
I love. It's exactly it. If a book is a book I love and it's massive, like one of my favorite books is Shogun, like which is over 1,000 pages. Or I love
Richard Chamberlain. I've seen it, never read it.
Good. The book's amazing. And then I loved oh gosh, I've got loads of big fat books that I love. And 1,000 pages plus. And trying to hit a reading goal, you avoid them because you've got a number of books goal, and I'm like missing out on all these books just because of that. So I stopped numbers goals for a while ago. I mean, page count's probably better than book count if you want to do some counting, because some people do feel motivated by counting. But I've stopped it now. I stopped it a few years back, and I just don't even think about it anymore because it's just like you say, you start in December, start going, oh, what are these? Let's go, how many short books I've got I can fit in to try and get this goal hit. Reading things for the sake of the goal rather than just because you enjoy it.
Well, and even putting off books for some events and things sometimes. And I'm like, but I want to read it now. Yeah. But the event's 3 months from now. Well, I'm reading it now because...
because I discovered as well, when it comes to reading a series, before BookTube, I would start a series and I'd finish the entire thing. I'd back-to-back it because I was into it.
Yeah.
And then I start BookTube and I stopped doing that because I had so many other things I had to read. And now I've gone back to trying to, if I start a series, I want to read the whole series. But what I found was I took part in a number of year-long reading events, which were like, let's read each of the Anne of Green Gables books, one a month for blah, blah, blah.
And I just books.
Well, what I found was as soon as I finished one, I'd want to pick the next one up, but I couldn't because it wasn't time yet. And so I would then just lose interest or go off and do something else, because I'm also very my focus is I go down I get a bit obsessed with certain things. So I'll be like, right, I want to read exclusively this for the next month. and that's what I'll do. But yeah, I couldn't do it then. It was like you said, holding a book back because an event's not till then, and then you're like, but I'm in the mood for it. Or now I'm mood read now as much as possible.
Yeah. And I've always been a mood reader, and I don't hold books because sometimes the event doesn't happen anymore.
Yes.
And then you're like, I could have read that.
Also, now I'm less likely to join a big group chat about a book. So if there is an event like Katie's doing Les Mis in January, Katie from Books and Things, she's doing a Les Mis read along, and I wanted to read Les Mis for years. This will give me the impetus to read it,
right?
But I'm not going to be taking part in the Discord. I don't like Discord. Let's put that out there. I don't like that.
For me, it lives up to its name. It's Discord. It's never worked properly. I still think it's funny they called it Discord. I mean, Discord, they got the name right, but it's a nightmare for me.
I find it, I couldn't get my head around it. It's a TikTok, Elaine. That's what it is.
Yeah. It must be. You kids in your Discord.
You kids in your Discord TikToks. Yeah, so I couldn't get my head around it. I don't know why. I think it's because when I dislike something, it's like when I did algebra at school. It's like dislike it, and suddenly it won't go in.
Yeah.
But yeah, you decide. I don't like something. My brain's like, nope.
And I'm the same. That's why math was like, and when I was talking with Dave and Gareth and we got into my second language, that's what happened with French. It isn't that there weren't good opportunities. I live in a country that's bilingual. I mean, our products all have 2 languages. There's great job opportunities. We have French immersion, public and high schools here. Nope. It's like, I have no interest. And my dad's like losing his mind. Like, you already have 2 languages. This should be easy. And if I cared, you would be correct.
Exactly, yeah. Motivation. Motivation's the thing.
It's like, I get that I have to suck it up with math, but I can do my bank account. So I've achieved the math skills I need. I don't need to. Oh, here's Mr. Bob. Bob,
hi.
This is Jack.
Hello. Hi.
Are you traveling?
As soon as I find out what I do with my wallet.
Well, that I can't help you with. I don't have your wallet. And he's so funny. We've been married 38 years, and he still will not go in my purse to get something. I'm like, for the love of Pete, you just open the thing and hand me the. No, here you go. I'm like,
oh,
such a cutie pie.
Very sweet.
But he's only got 1.5 years to win the lottery. Because 40 years, dude. I've been patient. Are you going?
Yes, I'm going.
All right. Love you. Bye.
I'm not coming back.
Oh, you're going to kisses me on the screen. Love you. Bye.
Oh,
don't forget your list of what you want. Yeah, you do, but you'll forget what it is when you get there. He's older than me by like 9 years.
Oh, actually, that's kind of similar to me and my partner. It's 7. Well, actually, we're 8 years.
Yeah, it's funny. And
no, maybe not 7. I think it's 7 actually. I forget how old he is. I forget how old I am. You know.
Well, see, we're 9 years apart most of the year, but for a few weeks, we're 10 years apart. I can never tell you what year he was born because I always end up picking that 10-year mark.
Pick the wrong one.
Like, I can tell you what day he's born. I can't tell you what year. Steve, but to tie in, hi, I did say hi to Brian, as I don't think we've missed anybody else popping in. But yeah, this thing with cutting down and prioritizing, and like I say, I do it with my subscriber list as well. And again, it's not personal, but I only have so many hours. I've cut out most TV. I think I've gained 10 extra hours a week by not watching TV. So I'm either reading or doing coloring or something other than sitting in front of a television set. And I'm not going to replace that with YouTube. Kind of defeated the purpose.
Yeah.
So I pick and choose what I watch. But like I say, yes, this other thing with WhatsApp didn't work, but I'm not giving out my phone number for, the universe, whatever, cyber monsters to grab. But Bob and I have been, doing our final plans because you need to do these things. We're not being fatalistic or anything, but especially in this world, because unlike when my dad passed over 20 some odd years ago, and you had to go to the courthouse, whatever, to finalize things. Now and we started our list because you need passwords and your phone number for verification.
Talking about that.
And this and that. And we're like, holy jumping. It's insane.
Really is.
So that's the other reason we've been cutting back. And I'm like, you know what? I may not be able to connect with all these awesome folks on Discord or here or there or keep in touch. But it's like, you know what? I'm not leaving all that crap for Bob to have to kind of work through. And you need a list because I'm not saving it on the computer. I do it whole old school hand, and it's well hidden, stuffed amidst numerous notes and things. So I have to tell who may need to know where to find it, but no one else will find it. They'd have to go through like all my books and stuff. But again, I mean, it really blew me away when I started writing all that stuff out.
Yeah.
And that's, you've just got your basics to start with, and then all these other social things. It's like, there must be people who have pages and pages. And I learned my lesson when some dipshit scooped my phone number and made $3,000 to $5,000 a day. Yeah. And so I changed my number. So that putz made a few grand. And I spent my next day updating all my contacts, having to update all my stuff on the computer because two-step verification. So I had to go change my phone number on all these things. And some places you have to call to do it.
Oh.
And so you sit listening to the music, and it's like,
I've had to do a lot of that in the last couple of years.
It's such a, well, I read 1984 in 1983, and it freaked me out. And we didn't even have computers back then. I on purpose read it in 2024 because it was the 40th anniversary, and I made a comparison. And I'm like, it freaks me out even more now. And you didn't need the government.
It's terrifying, but yeah,
Well, the government didn't put all this stuff in your house. People are like, oh yeah, Alexa, Siri, this, that. Yeah, bring it.
Yeah, we're embracing it. Yeah, but there's also like, did I tell you that? Did you see? I started reading that book, Amusing Ourselves to Death. Have you heard of that book, Amusing Ourselves to Death? It's from the 1980s, and it was a book by. See if I get the quote up. It's by Neil Postman.
Okay.
And it's called Amusing Ourselves to Death, and it's fairly academic. I put it down. I will go back to it because I only read the first few chapters of it. But the opening, the foreword, was by his son in an edition that was published in the 2000s, I think.
Nice.
And he wrote and published this book, and it's about discourse and information in the age of television, and how the idea of the medium that conveys the information changing our perspective on the information, or changing how we receive the information. And he wasn't talking about the internet, but the thing that it opens up this foreword, and the foreword talks about Orwell and Aldous Huxley. And like that kind of blew my mind, because it was saying that, let me see if I can get it up for you. It said basically that that lots of people saw 1984 as the most awful vision and dystopian vision of the future. And lots of people think they're about the same thing, but he said they're actually not about the same thing. He said because he said in some ways, he said where is it? I've got it here actually. So you'll get the intro. The intro was basically that he said, when he was revising it, he said, where are we? He said, we were keeping our eye on 1984 when the year came and the prophecy didn't. Thoughtful Americans sang softly in praise of themselves, an American book. The roots of liberal democracy had held. Wherever else the terror had happened, we at least had not been visited by Orwellian nightmares. But we had forgotten that alongside Orwell's dark vision, there was another, slightly older, slightly less well-known, equally chilling, Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. Have you read Brave New World, by the way?
I started it in November 2024. I haven't been able to finish it because I figured we were living it. It's on my to finish. So I haven't read it yet.
And it's older. It's old. It's from the 1930s. So contrary to common belief, even amongst the educated, Huxley and Orwell did not prophesy the same thing. Orwell warns that we will be overcome by an externally imposed oppression. But in Huxley's vision, no big brother is required to deprive people of their autonomy, maturity, and history. As he saw it, people will come to love their oppression, to adore the technologies that undo their capacities to think. What Orwell feared were those who would ban books. What Huxley feared was that there would be no reason to ban a book, for there would be no one who wanted to read one. Orwell feared those who would deprive us of information. Huxley feared those who would give us so much that we would be reduced to passivity and egoism. Orwell feared that the truth would be concealed from us. Huxley feared the truth would be drowned in a sea of irrelevance. Orwell feared we would become a captive culture. Huxley feared we would become a trivial culture, preoccupied with some equivalent of the Feelies, the orgy-porgy, and the centrifugal bumble puppy. And they're the things that they watch. They go to the Feelies instead of the movies, and all the things. They're all sucked into all this constant entertainment, this constant stream of content, basically. As Huxley remarked in Brave New World Revisited, the civil libertarians and rationalists who are ever on the alert to oppose tyranny failed to take into account man's almost infinite appetite for distractions. In 1984, Huxley added, people are controlled by inflicting pain. In Brave New World, they're controlled by inflicting pleasure. In short, Orwell feared that what we hate will ruin us. Huxley feared that what we love will ruin us. This book is about the possibility that Huxley, not Orwell, was right. Now he was talking about television. He wasn't even talking about the internet and the constant stream of distraction and irrelevance. And I just found that opening that forward to that book, I was just like, whoa.
It's amazing.
Yeah, isn't it amazing? And that's the foreword to the book. He to the which I can't remember which edition it was, but I think it's the foreword to the original, maybe. But yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, definitely have to.
And he didn't even know about the internet, this guy, when he wrote this book.
Well, and even with Orwell, right? And Newspeak.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. And some of these things with YouTube guidelines and such, you can't say the S word for someone who makes a choice. I'm like, why? Why do you need to change things like that? I mean, speak openly, honestly, and name the accurate name. Like, let's not kibitz around. It's a serious issue, right? And when you're talking, it just came and went. Orwell. It might come back to me in a sec. I just want to catch up on the few.
Catch up on those. I've got a head soon, actually, but unfortunately, it's a really fascinating discussion.
People pretending to be somebody else. Dave Chappell's comedy skit, internet real life, dated but hilarious. Wish would look at more. Now, see, I put mine on my videos. So when I have my videos, instead of putting up a card, I put up the playlist of what that video relates to. And it seems to have made a difference. So, William, that might help you out. I don't know if it does help with the search algorithm, but it's, things happen. Late. Hey, Brian. Chasing comments. read and reviewed, Garbagust, withheld uploading until August. Well, there you go.
So many people do plan in advance. Gareth plans his videos months in advance, and he uploads them months in advance. Loads of them. I don't know. He's prolific.
Like the end of January. I'm like, how is that possible?
Yeah.
But yeah, between being, and I laughed when you said in your video, I mean, he's a teacher, he's a father, he's a musician, he's an author. It's like, dude.
And he was saying he now teaches English on a Monday night. I'm like, how do you do all this stuff?
Yeah, exactly. And the live streams. It's like, whew, pick a few books each year I want to read, but if I don't get to all of them, move to the next, put it back on the shelf. Gives me the chance to have some variety. Awesome. Yeah, I can't do the hey Dan, can't do the TBR games because then I just get ornery and it's like I don't want to read that right now.
As soon as I make a list that even if I've made it, I'm like, no. So I do piles of possibilities. I'm like, I love window shopping and shopping my shelves and making lists, but I don't want to stick to that list.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
Kirsty, hey Kirsty. Started to get overwhelmed how many books now I just mostly mood read and see again.
Good for you.
And we're almost, hey Diane. I'm glad you caught us too. And yes, when Kat and I are going to be on in a couple weeks, it will be another 10 a.m., but that'll be on a Saturday. So I accommodate my guests. We're all over, and I appreciate my viewers who just, oh yeah, she's not doing it Thursday this week. But I probably won't. I'll remember the thing about Orwell or that comment probably after the live stream is done. But you have to go shortly, yes?
I am going to go in the next few minutes, but it's been really nice to chat. We didn't even chat about the books we're reading. What are you reading at the moment? Let me tell what you're reading.
Quick zip through what you're reading and
what are you reading at the moment?
I'm co-host on Ghosts of Christmas Past.
Yes, I'm going to be reading The Signalman at some point in the next bit.
Lovely.
At some point.
I've never read Dickens before, so now I've read two short stories. The lawyer, it's in one of my collections. Then I read The Signalman, just watched A Christmas Carol, which I've seen it umpteen times, the old black and white. But for the first time this year, I'm going to read it. I got a copy in one of my collections and another one from the library because I want to see the comparison. But I'm also going to read. This is The Ghost Book and Spine-Tingling Tales from the Golden Age of the English Country House of Charles Linley, Viscount Halifax.
Oh, exciting.
So, and then I'm doing a buddy read with Big Hard Books and Classics, Alan. So we're reading Carlos Castaneda, A Separate Reality. These are from the late 1960s, and it's about shamanism and his training as an apprentice. And it's too funny because just for giggles, because I've been getting more and more books from the library just to keep books in circulation.
Yeah.
I haven't read Graham Hancock in a bit. I have a couple of his books to finish. But so for giggles, I picked up Visionary. No idea what it was about other than it's about Hancock. It has to do with shamanism and psychedelic drugs. So I'm like,
is it by Hancock or about him?
It's by Hancock.
Right.
It's by Graham
Because
Hancock.
Is that the Fingerprints of the Gods guy? Is that Hancock? Yeah.
Yep, that's him. But somehow he doesn't mention Carlos, which Hancock, his information's okay, but I find him arrogant. It's the one thing I don't like about him. And part of it's because I read, so those two just beautifully went together. And now I thought of it and see, book. Vinyl Frontier. This has to do with the Voyager space probe. And
the gold record.
And tying in with what you were saying with Huxley, and I have mentioned this in a video, and I've been on this UFO deep dive, etc. I wonder how much of all this UFO stuff is a distraction while all the other horrors are going on down south.
Interesting.
Because while
That's an interesting theory.
everybody's busy with the aliens and the new thing orbiting out there, guess what they're not paying attention to?
Interesting. Interesting theory.
So,
It.
what are you reading?
Well, I've got it's going to be ongoing for the next year or so, I think. But I started reading all of the Sherlock Holmes books because I've got
yet to read Sherlock, but I've got a 2-volume copy.
I've had the Stephen Fry audio, which is like on, he reads every single Sherlock Holmes story in publication date order, stories and novels, and it's like 70 hours worth of audio. But the reason I started it was because I read A Study in Scarlet last year, which is the first Sherlock Holmes book. And it was okay. I liked it more because it was an introduction to Sherlock Holmes than I particularly liked the story. I read The Hound of the Baskervilles years ago, but I reread it this year for Victober, and then discovered it isn't actually Victorian because it was published in 1902, so a year after Queen Victoria died. But it's
well, you were close.
It was close enough. Probably written when she was still alive, so I'll count that. It's fine. But it's also local to me because it's set in Dartmoor, which is very local to me. Dartmoor National Park is just over sort of about 40 minutes away from us, and we go there quite a lot. So it was very atmospheric. I wanted something gothic and atmospheric, and it definitely is that. And so I was then suddenly like, I want to read and listen to more Sherlock Holmes. So I was reading it and listening to it because I've got both. So I'm decided just to carry on working my way through it all in like. So I went back to The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, which is a short story collection after A Study in Scarlet, and I started listening to that. So I've listened to all of that, and I'm now on. I can't remember which one it is. The Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes. I don't know, but one of the other short story collections I'm on now, which is great. I'm loving it very, very much. Stephen Fry's reading is wonderful, but also he's so knowledgeable because he's a huge Sherlock fan. He's like been since he was a child. And he does these sort of forewords to the books and the collections of stories where he talks about them and the impact on him as well. And so if anyone's into Sherlock Holmes, there's also a really great Lucy Worsley documentary about Arthur Conan Doyle and how much he hated Sherlock Holmes the character and tried to kill him off, and people wouldn't have it. He couldn't stand. He wanted to kill him. Like, he was like, I want to murder this character, I want to get rid of him, and he did. And then people were so infuriated they brought him back. But I'm in the middle of watching that. It's a really good documentary. But I'm also I'm finishing off this little lovely children's book, The Stitchwalk Curse. I'm about halfway through that. So very kind of atmospheric for the season. But it's like an independent, not indie, it's a small publisher over here, but it's also a local author to me. So I'm finishing that. And I've just started the third book in a YA series called The Outlaws Scarlet and Brown, which is a dystopian. I don't read a lot of YA, but I'm always on the lookout for YA that is really good to recommend to my students who are in that age group of 13 to 16, where they don't want to be reading anything that's YA in the sense that we have it now. It's very good. It's about dystopian Britain, a vision of Britain, like some sort of futuristic Britain where some cataclysmic event has happened in the past. We don't know, but Britain is now split into 7 kingdoms, and it's like the Wild West. And these 2 characters are outlaws in this kind of Wild West, and it's really fascinating. It's really, really lovely, like fast-paced teen adventure. So I'm reading that. I think that's all I'm reading at the moment. But I'm enjoying my reading very much because I'm just kind of picking things up and trying to just be a lot more moody with my reading. Joyfully mood reading at the moment. But I really want to read, because of your readathon, the Ghost of Christmas Past, I want to read some ghost stories over Christmas. Nice. And I've got this one, which I want to start soon. I think probably I can start tomorrow, which is, have you seen this beautiful cover?
Ooh.
Ghostland. And it's about, it's a deeply moving meditation on memory, grief and loss, and the redemptive power of stories in nature. And so this guy, Edward Parnell, it's a part memoir, part travel log. He visits journeys around the ancient stones, stark shores, and folkloric woodlands of Britain's spectred Isle. From the uncanny tales of M.R. James and Charles Dickens to the on-screen horrors of The Wicker Man, Edward explores what has haunted other writers, filmmakers, and artists.
Lovely.
But yes, I think I'm going to give that a go.
That's awesome. And William was mentioning Fahrenheit 451. I've yet to read that.
I'm ashamed to say I've never read it. I've only read one Bradbury, and it was brilliant, so I should read more Bradbury.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who wrote The Veldt. Might be Bradbury. We did the short story. That's an amazing one, but I can't remember. It might be. Can't remember. Diane, yay, Jack, reading The Signalman. And Kirsty is going to see it on stage.
Amazing. You know what?
Awesome.
You know what? If you are, I mean, it's probably sold out by now, but if you're in the UK and you can get to London, anyone watching this, I got an advert through the BBC are doing ghost stories ghost stories read by, I can't remember what the actor is, but one of those, actors who's always in like quite period dramas and stuff like that. He's reading ghost stories with, I think, the London Symphony Orchestra doing the background, and it wasn't that expensive, and I was like, oh my gosh, and they're probably recording it live for a radio show or something like that. They tend to do that, but they're reading ghost stories, and I think they've got the Signalman in there as one of the ghost stories, and if you look it up, look it up. It's like ghost stories at Christmas or something, and it's like a live event, like a one-off. So awesome. I was like, no, I can't. It's next weekend in London, and it looked great.
Yeah. Before we sign off, I read Garlic. Thank you so much for Garlic and the Vampire. That was my first graphic novel. Just read Garlic and the Witch.
See, I can't get hold of that yet. Is it good? Was it good?
It is, but confusing. Because in Garlic and the Vampire, we're meeting the vampire.
Yeah.
But in Garlic and the Witch, they're just the animals are or the little people are created, Garlic, but they already know the vampire, and they're not making sales at the market. So I'm like, timeline is confusing.
Yes, that is confusing.
Dinner time.
It is dinner time for me. Oh, but just so you know, in case anyone is watching from the UK, it's next weekend at the Barbican in London. Ghost Stories and Music for Christmas. Alex Jennings and the BBC Symphony Orchestra, and they're going to do readings. Where are we? Some Oscar Wilde ghost stories from Dickens, Saki, Oscar Wilde, and some dark new tales from newer authors. There we go. Brought eerily to life by the music of Vivaldi, Bartok. I don't know how to pronounce these other ones, but yes, sounds to make the hair stand on end, and seasonal merriment too. Sounds delightful. If you're in London, you can go, and it's not sold out. Book it. It looks great.
And there you go. Other people doing Christmas ghost stories at Christmas.
Yes. And this is what because it came up just after the announcement of Ghosts at Christmas Past. I was like, amazing. I want to go to that, but I can't next weekend, unfortunately. But there you go.
Well,
it's been delightful.
It has. Thank you so much. And we're wishing Pedro a safe surgery and
thank you.
Speedy recovery.
Yes.
Thank you so much to everyone for joining us today. This has been lovely. And thank you so much, Jack.
Yes,
Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye.